This episode of the Stickers and Scuffs podcast is in partnership with Ladies of the Oval. Ladies of the Oval came into existence in 2017. It is a community of support for female racers, not only in Ontario, but now nationwide. Their social media showcases female racers across the country in all divisions and all classes. Ladies of the Oval gives out sponsorships to women in racing that is funded by merchandise sales. Follow them on social media to see spotlights of the female racers, upcoming sponsorships, and to find out how you can get involved and stay connected.
You can support the Ladies of the Oval by purchasing your decal or race calendar for 2023 that features some of the ladies that race across this great country. You can follow the Ladies of the Oval on social media via their Facebook page or Instagram page. Just search Ladies of the Oval.
What's up, everybody? We're back with the first episode of 2023, and we're kicking off Ladies Month, presented by Ladies of the Oval. And we have our first guest of 2023 is someone that I'm personally acquainted with, and she was a force to be reckoned with in the Outlaw Midgets, presented by Canadian Tire Innisfil this year. 2022 champion, Jessica James, is with us. How's it going, Jessica?
Good. How's it going with you guys?
Great.
We're doing pretty good. Yeah. It was a pretty busy 2022 for you. Give us 2022 in a nutshell for you, or for us.
Well, dream season, really. I mean, at the beginning of every season, I said, we're going to go for a championship. And then just never happened. I end up... the competition's been stiff. I mean, we ran well, we've done well, but just couldn't put it all together. Ended up missing a couple races once in a while, so that really put slowed down the progress of being able to make that happen. And then this year it was just like I went into it thinking it might be my last year doing this. I'm getting old, and kind of thought, and the boys, they're a long way away from my operation where I'm at. So we really only meet up at the track. Mm-hmm. So, but I said, we'll give it a best shot. And luckily, we won the first event, and and that just kept happening. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know why. I mean, we did the same thing we always did. We've always had decent equipment. Got one of the very best engine builders there is out there. Howard Gifford is an amazing talent. It just kept escalating. I mean, time and time again, the weekend would end up with a checkered flag. By race 5 or 6, Howard there, he says, what's the chances of winning them all? And I thought, there's no pressure. right? No problem. That's I thought, well, we've done half of them. There's no reason for us not to try and do the rest of them at this point. And luckily, they just kept coming our way. Sunset was a bit of a downer for us. At Sauble Beach, we were leading. They had a red flag. And I started worrying about the pressure. Started getting to me. It's silly. It sounds silly, but the pressure started getting to me.
Oh, not at all.
Like, how long can we keep doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, at Sauble Beach, we had a red flag while leading. And then when we got to start going again, my car wouldn't start. I was devastated. I was sitting in the car thinking, this can't be happening. Like, oh God, is this how it ends? I thought, oh, that's a sucky way. And then all fired up, and away we went, and we were able to seal the deal that time. But when sunset happened, there was no escaping that. That was not gonna be a good night for us. But if you had to lose one, I guess that's a good way to do it. Spectacular.
In style.
Yeah, to put context to that, Jessica's talking about a pretty crazy wreck that she was involved in at Sunset, and that was kind of the pin in the balloon of the bowling a perfect season. I mean, you had 14 heat wins and 11 feature wins on Route 2.
You know the stats better than me.
I did a little homework before you came on, but I mean, en route to the season championship, of course. I mean, you're just a force to be reckoned with, but at the same time, you also showed that those chassis that you guys run are pretty tough. That was quite a thrash that you when you went around there.
Well, the cars are. I mean, some people made comments about them not being the safest little race cars out there, but I mean, I don't know. I beg to differ. I've given them I've tested them, and I'm still here.
Yeah. For what's around you, I mean, they are just like bent tube chassis, and they're not all that big. Like, in terms of when you're in the cockpit, it's pretty tight quarters, right?
There's not a lot of space around you. It's true. Not a lot of crush room, so to speak.
Right. So but I mean, in terms of durability, I mean, I saw it on my race day with the 18 car when it went on its lid. I mean, the wing came off, and there was a bit of cosmetic damage and stuff. But at the end of the day, everybody walked away from that wreck. You walked away from yours, and that's a testament to how safe those cars actually are.
It is. I should probably give a shout out to Mike Westwood. I mean, he built a lot of these midgets that when the club was in its inception or mid its growth, and they're all pretty much out there still going. I mean, and other guys built good cars too. I mean, it's rare to have anybody with any real long-lasting serious injuries from this. I mean, you do more damage on a longboard and a skateboard than in a midget wreck most times.
Yeah, and as Dave, sorry, Cam, as Dave Bradley has said, and Hooligan, it's a club. I mean, it's a series of races, but I mean, a lot of you guys got to go to work on Monday, so obviously you don't want to spend your weekend and then some in a hospital. So I mean, it's nobody's goal is to go out in a spectacular blaze of glory doing endos down the front stretch or something like that. So everybody we've talked to, I mean, like, that is definitely the craziest wreck I've seen. I haven't been around your series all that long, but I mean, that's the craziest wreck I've seen in terms of spectacular dancing around, cars flying type thing.
Well, you haven't watched me run all that often then, because I some spectacular ones. I mean, that one hurt quite a bit. To me, I felt it was mild, although I hurt a lot. But no broken bones, no long-lasting serious injuries. I think. Years ago, I got airborne and the car flipped, and I hit the wall at the end of the straightaway at Barney, and I did an awful lot more damage to the car I hit at the most inopportune time at the wrong place. I mean, all the bad stuff added up, and it crushed the cage on the car, and my head hit the wall.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I sustained a fairly, well, I mean, I guess any back injury is a severe injury, and it took me a long time to get over that. But again, that's the car that just won the championship, though.
Wow.
It's still the same car.
Still the
That's
same
awesome.
car.
Holy cow.
It required some surgery in itself, but
Took
my
a licking
point
and
is
kept on
that
ticking.
you're a safe car, and you just can't plan for every contingency. I mean,
That's right.
if anyone's looking to get into it, it's well within. I guess. I mean, if you're going to get in a race car of any kind, you're prepared for some kind of. You must be prepared for some kind of bad day.
Yeah, there's potential for something to go sideways at all times.
For sure. And but these cars, I mean, I'll put anybody in it. I mean, I put my nephew in it. Of course, he broke his neck in one too. I'm not doing anything good for the club here, am I? But he's still walking too,
Yeah.
So,
Hey, you talk about bad days, but we want to talk about a great day, and that was the day that you met Graydon Bunn at the racetrack.
Best day of my life.
I mean, I was.
It was bittersweet for me. No offense.
I was.
I get that a lot.
we were separated for that race week, and I was at Sunset with OSS duties, and so bummed to not be there. And I remember texting Graydon's wife going, "How's it going?" And she's just like, it's not going. And then I was crushed, but then I got to talk to him, and he talked all about the club and all about yourself, Hooligan, everybody that just, you guys came to
Rob
the
McCall.
aid.
He was
Rob McCall,
had the charge there for sure,
and you guys all came and helped him out. Is this a club thing? Because not everybody would do that.
Well, in this club they have. I mean, I think my first full season, I got in an altercation with one of the other teams, and they were one of the better teams. They're one of the guys. They had quite a few cars. They're a big team, and they've been around a while,
Right.
And I was new. And I mean, it was a big shouting match in the pits, and a lot of hurt feelings there, Yeah. And then the very next week, we were at Peterborough for Autumn Colors, and in practice down the front stretch, I got squeezed into the wall myself. I probably put myself in a bad spot. I tend to do that. And I ended up barrel rolling the car down the front straightaway. And I mean, I bent everything. It was tore up from the floor up. And it was the first time my family was coming to watch me race since I started racing again, So I thought, so they're pulling the car off the track into the pits, and it's on, they got it slung. It's not rolling. They're carrying it in. And at the same time, I'm walking to the pits thinking, pretty dejected, thinking, I broke my race car. Brother was coming into the pits, and he looked at me and he looked at the car and he went, "Oh, same old, eh?" But when we got to the pits, I was ready to load it up, and then the people started coming around like, "Hey, what do you need? What can we do? What can we get for you?" And at one point there were so many people swarmed around that car. I was just running around trying to find parts. I couldn't get in there to help, to do anything. They were on it. And one of the biggest group of people there were the people who were trying to chase me out with a pitchfork the week before. So, it is a really good group of people.
And that picture that Graydon has, and he's literally got everybody around the car working on it. And it's one of my favorites to see, because I remember you were so upset.
Credit the wife for that one.
But to see that photo with everybody coming together, and the biggest thing about that was got out on the track, right? And that is, I guess, the biggest testament, right, to working together as a team is, yeah, sure, maybe it didn't go the way that we were hoping, but you got out there, you got to race, right? And you got to race against Jessica Graydon, right? So
Yeah.
now
That was the win that day.
Better
There
hobby,
you go.
bud.
Exactly. So and that's what I love about it, is that you got a guy like Graydon who maybe doesn't have a ton of experience racing cars, and he was able to get out on the track and be a part of the club.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what we're about. You know, that's the difference between a club and maybe an outright series. You know, I mean, when you're in competition with your with somebody and it's really serious, you might not be all inclined to walk over there, especially if you know they're your main competitor. You know, you like sort of got to let them fend for themselves. But
Yep.
we're a little different breed in this club. You know, that's. I mean, we're fierce competitors. Don't get me wrong, and you know, we might have some choice words for each other, but at the same time, we're there for anybody. My trailer is an open part store. I'll give them to anybody, and I have. You know, there's been nights where I had spare motors on the track, wheels, tires, axles. You know, almost enough parts to build a second car out on loan, and it's happened for me too. You know, when I was coming up and my parts list was very short. People were there for me. So
it's just paying it forward, right? That's absolutely it. I love this. And I'm curious though, Jessica, where your history was. Like how did you get to the club? Like when you're started in racing?
Well, I started racing karts when I was 15. Out at a track called North Halton Kart Club up in Georgetown. Just a little track in the sticks. I mean, quite a few racers have come from there.
Yes.
Rob Neely was started out there, and pretty much everybody that raced karts at some point has been through that place to race, and that's where I started. I mean, my dad was a stock car racer back in the early 70s, late 60s. And it was something I always wanted to do. And then, I went through the karting ranks a little bit and I got big, got too heavy for the go-karts. So the next choice was we had to go to the next weight class, and I had to have a V8 in it to overcome my weight deficit. So I started at Flamborough running, at the time it was a street stock class. And I started with the likes of Paul House, Jordan House's dad,
Nice.
Lapsovich, racing both boys' dad. A lot of guys, good guys, Burroughs clan. Yeah, I've been around a Shepherd. You know, I raced Pete Shepherd Junior at the time, which is Pete Junior's dad, and his mom, who's Sharon Zardo, but she was a Shepherd by then. And Alex Nagy ran against them. And when I say I ran against them, I mean I was on the track while they were kicking my ass.
Like I was with you.
I was on a steep learning curve at that time, you know. I mean, those guys were getting it done, you know. I was good. And I ran a couple other classes. I got into the modifieds when Vardy started the All Pro Modified. I was lucky to get involved with a guy that had a car, and then I built my own car and ran that for a season or two. And then I got an opportunity to run cast car when they ran at the exhibition there.
Wow. How was that?
Oh, that was great. I mean, I felt, we were the underdog by far. Almost won a feature. I mean, I really wasn't fast enough. I just stayed where I needed to be, and they were stacked up behind me. And eventually, you know, a couple laps to go, they get a bit impatient and start pushing you around. And I got turned, but geez, I thought I was going to get that one. You know, at the exhibition there, it's kind of cool because you're running down the backstretch, and they had their version of the Jumbotron. So you're driving down the backstretch, you look up and you can see you driving down the track. You're like, hey, that's pretty cool. Oh, damn, there's the corner. But when you get moved, it's easy to see who did it. Because I ran cast car and then modifieds again, and then I took a few years off. More than a few years, about 10 years off. I seen these midgets, and time was right for me at the time. I thought, geez, I missed it. I missed it desperately. So I got the opportunity to get a car, and the bug bit bad. I just want one car to go out and race once in a while, and that turned into 2 cars, and there was 3 cars, and now you can't have enough cars.
Yeah.
So that's where we ended up here. Where we are now.
That's pretty awesome. And we've kind of talked about influences in your life, your career path, Wagner painting on the side of your car. What does that partnership mean to you?
Well, they help me out. It's when Eric's at the track, he's more than willing to pitch in and give a hand, and they shoot me some funds, to help put tires on the car and put fuel in it and get me up and down the road to and from the track.
Yep. Eric's not a stranger to racing these things either, is he?
No. Eric's he's turned a few laps as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's decided it's not really for him, the driving part. He really likes the pit side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say he wouldn't take advantage and try and get in one again, but I don't think it's something that he's never actually asked me to get in the car. I would. I might regret this when he hears it, but I would let him go out for sure. Mm-hmm. He's earned it for sure. His wife also solid, great people, both of them. They're a big factor as to why we're where we are today here.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you don't have to be a driver to be a racer necessarily, as we kind of find out. Like, if you're part of the community, you can get bit by the bug and you just want to be around it as much as possible. And if the partnership that you guys have obviously forged has worked very well for you, and it makes for a hell of a good looking race car too. Well,
thanks. I think we're going to change the colors up this year, and we've run that for a few years. I mean, initially we went with the black and pink to suit one of our our previous sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
We're aligned with their color scheme,
mm-hmm.
And then. Wagner painting, it kind of still worked with them because he kind of liked the almost like the fluorescent neon type color, so it worked okay, even though this stuff was green and this was pink and black. But the body's tired. I mean, I gave it a hell of a beating this year, and it's time for a freshen up. So
nice.
I'm not quite sure what colors we're going to go with, but I know we're gonna do something different this year. Maybe a throwback to where I was before. We used to be red and white a lot in the past. So
cool. Little teaser there for 2023.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm thinking, unless Pepsi comes along with a whole bunch of money. Hold my breath.
Well, I have a question that you might have to do some counting, but I'm very curious, Jessica, because how many bandanas do you own? Because I don't know if I've seen the same color, the same print, or the same design in any photos of you. So they've definitely got a place in your heart for sure.
Well, actually, I just bought a new one for this tonight. I have quite a few bandanas. I like them. It's easy to keep the hair taken care of, and I pretty much have one of every color. It's
nice.
So what we're saying is, Graydon, I guess SNS bandanas is next, right?
Hey, get me one of those. I'll be on it.
Dude, it's got some merit to it.
No, I'm not the only one who wears this stuff. You see it all the time.
Jessica, is there what do you have in the works for this year? Is there anything you can share with us?
Well, yeah, some stuff has actually just materialized in the last within this last month. I mean, since just prior to Christmas, actually something happened today even, but I haven't said anything to anybody. Very, very few people, but I'm not. John Carley, he previously he has a couple hobby cars, Canadian Vintage Modifieds, that he's campaigned for a bunch of years. He was the president of the Vintage Modified Club for a bunch of years, and now I think he's a general manager, or he's the top dog up there at Sable Beach now, which meant that he couldn't run his race car anymore at Flamborough. So he graciously made me the offer to run his car, and I started racing at Flamborough. Sorry, at Flamborough. That was my home track for years, and hobby cars at the time they were the big ticket. I mean, there was more hobby cars in the pits than several classes combined. You know, it was the premier. I thought anyway, the premier fan favorite, and it's always been something on my bucket list. So when he made that offer, boy, I couldn't get the yes out fast enough that I'd like to take it up.
Awesome.
So that's probably going to happen. I'll be running the full series, the weekly there, and then I'm going to try and hopefully fit in as many midget events as possible. I'm still waiting to find out what the schedule is for the Vintage Modifieds.
Right.
I'm pretty darn sure there's going to be some events that are going to be on the same date, and I won't be able to do it. But I have a few people in line to run the car. The car will be there at every event. I'm not about to say who that is just yet. I'd like to keep the guys and girls in the club on edge.
That's good champion strategy right there.
Yes, it is.
And then actually, I got a call this morning, in fact, that Tim Tolton, who he owns he's owned many race cars. He's been in the business far too long. He knows better by now, but he's a racer. He's stuck doing it. He runs out of Varney. He actually works at the track there too, and that's kind of a conflict of interest for him. So he's made his car available to me for whatever dates I might be able to fit into my existing schedule. So it's been pretty cool. I mean, I think I was telling you there, Graydon. Geez, when you win a championship, people start calling and asking you if you want to drive their cars. And if I'd known that, I'd have gone after a championship 20 years ago. So,
wow.
I don't know what we can do, fit it in. I mean, that's a lot of racing, but I'm really pumped up for it. So,
well, as you say, once
and I'm willing to take on any other dates or cars that might come my way.
Yeah, those schedules are a tricky thing when you don't know what they are yet.
Looks like I got a bunch of Sundays available, y'all.
That's great. One of the things. So you said Tolton's. Which car would that be? Because I think he has several.
Well, this will be the '59 Studebaker Lark.
Yeah,
number 70 car.
Yes, the hot rod. All right.
Hot rod. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was telling me a little bit about it tonight, and I was like, "Oh, it's." I mean, I'd seen pictures of the car. Actually, I think I saw the car at Autumn Colors too this year. But cool looking race car.
I was just gonna say, you'd rock that car like a boss.
I'm gonna give it all I got.
I know you will.
Looking forward to the opportunity, and I'm flattered that these guys are willing to put their trust in me to let me get this done, or try to get it done.
That's the thing. As somebody who doesn't have any racing experience, to someone with a resume as long as yours, I mean, it has to be a compliment when these owner operators call you up and say, "Hey, do you want to drive my race car?" As a guy of my level, as if someone wants to take a chance on me and put them in their car, I find that mind blowing. So, I mean, I feel it in the tiniest way that you do, I'm sure, but it's pretty cool when that phone rings or when you're talking to that person and they put that faith in you. I mean, it's what you've been working for and dreaming for, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been such a good month that way that every time the phone rings, I look to see if it's Hendricks on the other end there.
They're going to bring back the 25 and they need you to drive it.
Oh, I don't know, man. The guy that drove that 25 the best, been gone a long time, and one of my very favorite drivers. But I'd give it a go.
Well, Jessica, we're excited to have you once again in 2023 as part of the SNS driver roster. You're gonna be sporting the SNS decal. We're so excited to have you back on the team this year as another badass female racer in Ontario. And just thank you so much for being there for my man Graydon Bunn on what was his day of hell originally that turned into
the best and worst day ever.
Best and worst day ever. And now he's officially bit the racing bug. And so unfortunately the other Jessica that he's dealing with right now, she might not be too thrilled with all the plans that he has to race cars, but definitely made the experience for him much, much better. And so thank you for representing SNS at the racetrack. We really appreciate it.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. I might have to say I might need a few more stickers. I got a few cars to put them on at this point.
That's right. Yes.
I do want to. I spill the beans a little bit. I don't know if I'm supposed to or I should, but I actually made an offer for Graydon to run the car at some point this year.
Oh my! Did he say anything?
His eyes lit up, and I heard. I think I heard under his breath, "I better go talk to Jessica."
Yeah. No, we'll be doing something for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
just like you say, the schedules are a thing that we got to wait till they know what they are before we iron stuff out. But and as everything we kind of ambiguously talked about here just a few minutes ago, when someone, a champion driver like yourself, calls a guy a schmuck like to me that's got all of 2 starts in any sort of race car, and it's not just that. I mean, you're not just leaving me to my own devices. The fact that you want to take a guy like me under your wing and kind of show me the ropes a little bit.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay, well, that's true. You did. But
if you wreck it, you buy it. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with. I felt bad for the way things went for you that day, and I mean, you guys have been great to me. I mean, heck, Cam, maybe we need to squeeze you into one of them too at some point.
I announce I don't race. I'll leave that to you. Guys are much crazier than I am doing strapping into those things. No thanks. I'm totally cool in a safe booth where I can just talk. That's my experiment.
Well, I think that might be your forte too. So
yeah, it's definitely his calling. I don't think I'm going to light the world on fire in the driver department, but it's cool just to be out there and walk a mile in your shoes. And I'm thankful for any opportunity that I get for that. But we're very thankful for the opportunity to get to have you on and to kick off Ladies Month and to kick off 2023 with a champion driver as our first guest. This has been great.
Well, it's been an honor to be able to do this with you guys, and I think it's great what you're doing there with this month's show too. I mean, it's important to get the exposure for the girls, and you got to be careful because they can be bloody fast. So
Yes.
don't be counting your cookies before they're hatched, or cookies before they're hatched, but before they're cooked. Because you just might be surprised who just blasted by you on the outside.
That's right.
So,
Damn right.
And they deserve the recognition and exposure.
Absolutely. And ladies of the Oval, thank you guys for being in partnership with us. This is the first episode of 2023. Jessica James, watch for her on track in the vintage modifieds this season, and of course, we'll see her on the Outlaw Midgets, and I can't believe I get to say and the hot rods out at Varney Speedway. So everybody, have yourselves a great week. We'll catch you next week on the Stickers and Scuffs podcast.